Fox 10 Gulfstream. This is Next Weather.
Hey there, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith. Let's talk about a changing weather pattern first, as we are looking at an upper level flow that is bringing us more dry air. We're starting to see more of an upper ridging building in, and that brown stuff right there and this darker coloration. A little drier air on the water vapor loop and definitely more stable this week. So we're going to see a little lower rain chance this week across the Gulf Coast. Here's that upper ridge that's going to build in, and as we get into the middle of the week, it'll be about as close to us as it's going to get, but it's definitely very amplified. Big heat ridge out here. It's not just us, most of the United States dealing with that heat wave, and we'll continue to contend with it until about Friday or Saturday, and then we start to see more of a trough pattern in the eastern United States. That ridge will break down, but look at the heat wave. Purple areas are excessive heat warnings, and from Arkansas to Texas to New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, California, most of the U.S. in a major heat wave. We're getting a little piece of it here tomorrow. We've got a heat advisory in effect, and that includes Greene, George, Jackson, Washington, Mobile, Baldwin, Escambia, and Santa Rosa counties in our area. Today's temperatures getting toasty, up to 94 at Mobile, 93 in Pensacola, so definitely warm out there today. And taking a look at the heat index values for tomorrow, very uncomfortable levels predicted from Ardmore at 107 to 108. Chatham and Calvert 109, Leakesville 105, Mobile. Expected to be a pretty uncomfortable afternoon. Still could be uncomfortable across the Panhandle too. In the tropics, we've got a tropical depression in the Atlantic that may get a little stronger. It's still holding in there with a 35-mile-per-hour situation with a low-level center that's still somewhat well developed, and we will be seeing the potential of this becoming a tropical storm John once again, as it loops back towards and out over the northern Atlantic Ocean. Could be a little stronger by the weekend, but it's not coming our way. It's out off the Canadian Maritimes and the Azores, somewhere about right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Normally, if we see any trouble in July, it's because of a system in the Northwest Caribbean Sea or in the Gulf of Mexico. Nothing happening there right now. Starting to get late in July, we can see the potential for development along the intertropical convergence zone as we look at that potential, but there's some inhibiting factors there. Meteorologist Matt Barentine will have an update on that in just a bit. Here is your extended outlook, and we've got an isolated shower chance tomorrow. After that, could be dry completely on Wednesday and Thursday. Temperatures are going to be very hot, highs in the middle 90s through Friday. The ridge breaks down, the trough develops, and that means scattered showers and storms that become likely in the afternoons and evenings will return over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Rain chances at 60% both days, highs in the low 90s there. All right, so we've got a system out in the Atlantic right now, but what about possibilities of more activity in the Atlantic? We'll look at that, and also we'll talk about that national heat wave situation coming up.
Can I play? Sure, but you need to bring your own truck. That's not a problem.
The Fox 10 Storm Tracker Fleet, taking you live to more places, covering the Gulf Coast like no one else can. Unrivaled experience, unparalleled severe weather coverage.
I think I need a bigger sandbox.
Well, we have that 1 week system out in the North Atlantic right now, Don. Otherwise, all is quiet in the tropics, and it's likely to stay that way for a while. Why? Meteorologist Matt Barentine shows us how the Saharan desert is impacting our forecast.
Here in the middle of July, we have something in the tropics that is helping us out, a large plume of Saharan dust. As you would imagine, this comes from the Saharan desert here over North Africa, where it's extremely hot and extremely dry. There's also at this time of year strong trade winds that blow from east to west. Those strong trade winds pick up the dust and sand off the desert there and then eventually blow it out here over the Atlantic. These large plumes, they dry out the atmosphere. They reduce the sunlight getting down to the water, helping to cool it off. They also create inversions where hot air is above colder air. So in other words, there's no ability for the air to rise and form thunderstorms. All these put together helps to limit tropical development. That's what these Saharan dust plumes do. And right now here in the middle of July, we have a huge one here that is marching its way across the Atlantic that's going to help to keep things quiet in the days to come. It'd be awesome if these things could last all season long, but they don't. Eventually, those trade winds do start to slacken as we move into August and we start to see less of these Saharan dust plumes, and then the season really starts to get more active. But for now, we've got it, and this will help us out. In Mobile, Matt Barentine, Fox 10 News.
There's a lot going on around the United States. We've got a heat wave building all throughout the United States. Meanwhile, some flooding and a lot of rain and severe weather in the northeast United States. Here's more.
More than a quarter of the U.S. population fell under extreme heat advisory Sunday as triple-digit temperatures soared, breaking heat records in the south from California to Florida. This week, that same heat dome is expected to linger.
Feels like football practice in the middle of August. That's what it feels like. It's hot.
Death Valley is dominating global heat records, topping 128 degrees over the weekend, close to the hottest recorded temperature ever documented on Earth.
Oh, your arms are burning, your face is burning.
In the Northeast, more extreme weather brought heavy rain, spurring a round of flash flooding that claimed at least 5 lives in Pennsylvania.
Huge gust of water just came down from 532 down the hill.
Across other parts of the East Coast, officials urged caution as more rain threatened dangerous landslides.
We want everybody to just be vigilant and be careful.
In New York, strong storms led to hundreds of flight cancellations at airports and tornado warnings along the Massachusetts-New Hampshire border.
And as I said before, this is possibly our new normal.
And while Earth had its hottest recorded days this month, scientists say next year could be even hotter as El Nino isn't expected to peak until later this year. In Washington, Alexandria Hoff, Fox News.
And coming up, we'll look at your 10-day forecast here on Next Weather.
New to the Fox 10 weather app, your 24-hour radar forecast. Be the first to see how precipitation is going to affect your plants across the Gulf Coast. Detailed hour by hour. The 24-hour radar forecast on the Fox 10 weather app. Plus the latest breaking news with the Fox 10 News app.
Got him both.
Stay alert with Fox 10. Prime time is Fox 10 time.
The latest on the night's top stories are first on Fox 10 News at 9.
Wrap up your day, informed and ready for the morning.
All right, here's that 10-day, and so what we have going on in our area this week is obviously a piece of that big heat wave, that big heat ridge, the dome that's over the central United States, 95 each day through Friday. Then this weekend and into next week, it looks like a little bit more in the way of normal summer heat. We're going to get back down to around 90, and we're going to see a little above average chance of showers and thunderstorms. That'll be for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, still scattered next week. So no big changes out there. And it looks like the tropics may be quiet for another week or so, but we know the most active part of the season is right around the corner. Thanks for joining us here on Next Weather.